You ever felt that? That incredible sensation when music becomes something you can actually see? Well, today we're going to dig into why that feeling, that audiovisual magic, is just so powerful.
It's a feeling that's kind of hard to put into words, right? Whether you're at a huge concert or just staring at a music visualizer on your laptop, when the light and the sound lock in, something just clicks. It feels perfect. So what is actually happening inside our brains that makes it feel so magical?
All right, so to really understand the science here, we have to start with that feeling, that almost supernatural connection we experience when sound suddenly becomes visible. I mean, think about it. The beat drops and bam, the strobes flash in perfect time. A soaring guitar solo is matched by a wave of brilliant color. It doesn't just feel cool, it feels deeply, primally satisfying. And this experience, it's not just some party trick. It's actually a massive clue into how our senses are wired together. And the very first clue to understanding this wiring comes from a rare and, frankly, fascinating neurological trait that some people are just born with. It's called synesthesia. For people with this condition, the lines between their senses are just wonderfully blurry. They might taste shapes or feel colors on their skin, or, and this is the key for us, they might literally see sounds. And this is where it gets truly wild. When a synesthete, that's what you call someone with synesthesia, hears a trumpet, they might see a burst of shimmering gold. It's not a metaphor, it's not an association, it is an actual, involuntary visual perception. It's as real to them as the sound itself is to us. The most common form of this is called chromesthesia, basically sound-to-color synesthesia. For them, a C sharp on a piano might always be a vibrant, fiery red, or a specific drum beat might create this staccato pattern of cool blue flashes. Their entire world is a constant, natural, built-in light. But what if you're not a synesthete? Well, for decades, artists and technologists have been completely captivated by this phenomenon, trying to build a bridge into that world so that everyone can experience it. And that's really the core mission of audiovisual art, to essentially reverse engineer synesthesia for the rest of us. It's all about taking the invisible architecture of music, its rhythm, its frequency, its loudness, and systematically translating all of it into a visual language our eyes can finally see and understand. And you have seen this in action everywhere. I mean, think of the massive pulsing light rigs at a music festival, or the swirling patterns in your old media player, or even complex generative art that's literally coded to breathe with the music. We're even seeing fully immersive VR worlds where you can literally step inside a song. So this all brings us back to the big question. Why does this feel so good for us non-synesthetes? Well, the answer lies deep in how our brains are fundamentally wired for connection. It turns out that feeling of deep satisfaction we get is actually a fascinating cocktail of 5 distinct psychological and neurological responses. So let's break them down one by one. First up, we have cross-sensory integration. Our brains are hardwired to connect the dots. When a sound and a flash of light happen at the exact same time, your brain doesn't bother treating them as two separate things. It just merges them into one single coherent event. And that integration feels incredibly satisfying. Step 2 is pure aesthetic pleasure. We are pattern-seeking machines. Our brains love finding patterns. So when we see the mathematical elegance of a sound wave perfectly mirrored in light, it's like our brain is solving this beautiful sensory puzzle. And our neural reward pathways just light up. All right, step 3, emotional resonance. Music is already incredibly powerful, but it's abstract. But when a sad, slow melody is paired with, say, a soft, melancholy blue light, that emotion suddenly becomes tangible. The visuals give a physical body to the feeling, which makes it way more immersive. And steps 4 and 5, they take our minds to an even deeper level. Number 4 is cognitive curiosity. Our brains just love understanding cause and effect, and here it is, laid out right in front of us. The sound causes the light. And that understanding leads directly to step 5, the flow state. When we're completely absorbed in the sensory dance, we can enter that deeply focused, almost meditative condition where the rest of the world just fades away. So here's a really cool look at what's actually happening on a neurological level. In a synesthete's brain, there's a direct, automatic crosstalk, like a hotline, between their hearing and vision centers. Now, for the rest of us, those regions stay separate, but they become highly synchronized. They start working in perfect harmony. So while the wiring is different, the result is strikingly similar, a powerful feeling of sensory unity. So why does all of this feel so profound?
It really goes beyond just being a cool effect. It taps into something absolutely fundamental about how we perceive the world around us. See, normally our senses operate in their own separate lanes. Our ears process sound waves, our eyes process light waves. They're fundamentally separate experiences of reality. But for just a moment, audiovisual art smashes right through those walls.
And this is really the heart of it all. We are, for a moment, giving form to the formless. We're suddenly being shown the hidden shape of sound, the invisible architecture of music itself, a layer of reality that is normally completely inaccessible to us.
And that's where the real magic lies. That incredible goosebumps on your arm feeling comes from experiencing the world as a synesthete does. Not as a bunch of separate inputs, but as a single, interwoven, multi-sensory reality. It feels profound because it hints at a deeper unity we don't normally get to see.
And that leaves us with a really tantalizing question. We've used technology to see the invisible world of sound, so what else is out there? What other hidden patterns, what other beautiful, invisible forces are humming all around us, just waiting for the right tools to bring them into the light?